Let's go out and explore Norfolk, Virginia today. Wow. So, I really don't know how to start this off. I mean, I'm not a vlogger. I don't do this thing. I'll tell you what I am. I'm a 34-year-old sailor with a 2011 Triumph Rocket 3 in Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton Roads. I've spent the better part of 16 years in the Navy stationed in this area with 2 little escapes, one to Pascagoula, Mississippi, and one to Groton, Connecticut. And I have to say, as much as this ain't home, it doesn't make a bad home for somebody who enjoys it. So, just tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm Wingnut. The Wingnut, whatever. Nickname I picked up, funnily enough, my first tour in the Navy. In fact, during A school when they were teaching me to be what I am. So the particular thing that we were doing, you know, if you guys don't know about the military, is you get assignments, you do assignments, you report back to your senior, and you let them know, hey, I'm done. Well, I had learned how to weld before the Navy, and I had a pretty good grasp of it, you know, proficient. Well, they're used to teaching people who've never picked up a welding rod before in their life. So the first couple days I had tested out of the module and I had nothing to do, so I was running errands for all the leadership. You know, go get coffee, go get food, that kind of thing. Well, this particular individual that I was working for at the time, a HT1 or Home Maintenance Technician First Class, or an E6, kept mispronouncing my last name. So I was ignoring him, running back and forth, doing other things, just ignoring him. Finally, as I'm cutting through, after about 30 minutes of blowing this guy off, he goes, "Would you stop and listen to me, you fucking wingnut?" I stopped and looked at him. He goes, "That's it? That's your name?" You know, I didn't think nothing about it. I figured he'd call me that for a day or two, and that'd be the end of it. 16 years later, still my nickname. So as it turns out, he knew the guy I was reporting to at my first ship and had no problem passing that information along. So that's where Wingnut comes from, if you didn't know. You know, main reason I got the camera is so, you know, if something happens, I got at least proof of it, you know, for whatever reason. Because, you know, people drive kind of crazy around bikes, you know, especially after riding up in New England for a few years. They're loonies. And I am by far not the best rider. You know, I'm still a novice. I've been riding on and off motorcycles for the last 20 years or more, actually. But I never really rode them a lot on the street. Dirt bikes, I had a couple of street bikes I rode in the dirt, you know, when I was first learning how to ride. Not that great of a, you know, bike rider. I am proficient enough to get it done, and the Navy calls me legal to ride. So, just going to take a quick tour down Granby Street, and we are going to check out Ocean View. So, what you going to do? Act a fool. Oh my goodness. So, man, I love this bike. So, my first motorcycle was a CB125. I think it was like a 74 or 78. I don't remember. I mean, it's been since I was 12. You know, I'm 34, about to be 35. So it's been a minute. It was like light blue, fun as hell to ride. I mean, it was a blast. definitely a lot of kick for a kid. After that was another 125 Honda. I think it was a 78, but it was an enduro model. I don't know. It was a kickstart. Kickstart was broke. So to crank it, we would always park it at the top of the hill at my grandfather's and ride it down to start it, which worked half the time. It also had a bad oil mixer, so that was just another problem in itself. Absolutely a blast to ride. Drove my mom nuts. I think she still has heart attacks about it. From there, you know, just kind of took a break from it, you know, fell out of it. You know, both bikes broke down. I didn't know how to fix them. Pardon me. You know, I didn't know how to do that sort of thing. How you doing? That kid over there in the other lane. And that was, you know, that was my experience with bikes. Now, I rode dirt bikes on and off, never owned one other than the enduro. And then, you know, through the years, as I had buddies that had spare bikes or something, I would ride with them, that kind of thing. But never had a bike of my own for 20 years. And then a few years ago, I decided, you know what? I want to ride again. It, you know, it was always fun. Gas is high. I don't mind the commute and the bike. It'll be easy. So I signed up for the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course that they offer. Did the course, realized how much bad habits I had left over from riding, you know, dirt bikes and everything else. It doesn't translate just the way, you know, guarding your levers and all that jazz. How much safety gear I should have been wearing. Now, I'm not telling you that you got to be like all the gear all the time. I like to do that. That's what I do. That's me. If you want to squid, your business, not mine. Change lanes. And, you know, getting back around to it. So I go through and I do the motorcycle safety course, and then I can't find a bike. I mean, I'm not trying to spend, you know, thousands of dollars on a beater. I'm looking for $1,000 or less, maybe $1,500 was my budget, I believe, to trying to get a bike that, you know, I can just beat, drop, and mess up and not cry about. So after a bunch of hunting and cheering on, I found a 82 Honda CF750C. I'm sorry, VF750C. Now, if you guys don't know, that's a V4, even though it was a 750. Now, picture this. I am 6'4", 260 pounds on average, and I'm on a 750C Honda. I look like Magilla Gorilla. As my friends in the local Harley Club love to tell me every time we ride together. You know, big guy, little bike. Absolutely fun bike to ride. And, you know, for such a small bike, it packs a lot of wump in a little bitty package. That thing will roll. Well, I rode it year-round. Year-round, even in New England. The only time I didn't ride that bike was if there was, no joke, visible ice on the road. And that's just when I didn't ride. Other than that, I got cold weather gear and I rode. And I rode and I loved it. You know, especially in the winter because there's nobody on the road. Well, orders came through, had to leave New England, had to come down to Norfolk again. And I rode here in Norfolk through the winter. Then I deployed. I was gone for the better part of a year. And then convinced myself that, you know what, it's been a good, you know, year. I put some money up. I paid my bills down. You know, this is supposed to be my last deployment. You know, might get another one, but supposedly this is the wrap up. This is my last sea tour. So, you know what? Hell yes. I want a nice bike. So I got online, looked around, and I'm going to be honest, with me, when I started looking into lane splitting, I found some motovloggers. And that first one, of course, was Leadpin. And if you guys haven't seen him, go watch his channel. He is hilarious. I have never heard an Australian guy, or I don't even know if he's Australian. Is he Australian or is he South African? I don't know. He's talked about living in both places, but fun guy. The next person I found was 6 foot Honda. You know, a 6'4" Honda. He's another one. His absolute blast to watch. From there, of course, AdjrianNickelodeon, Jake the Garden Snake, Lauriejennifer, who, you know, absolutely wonderful motovlogger, a bit silly at times, especially with the squirrel suit, you know, and then ShadetreeSurgeon. You You know, those are the main ones I watch. And I got so impressed with the Rocket 3. And I was like, you know what? I need a big bike. I'm a big dude. I need something to fit me, but I need something that I can handle too. And I was looking at Harleys, I was looking at Kawasaki's, the Vulcans, and I mean, you name it. Anything that was 1700 cc's or larger, not because I had to have the power, I needed a bike with a big frame to fit my big ass. So, lo and behold, I'm stalking the internets, and I'm looking, and my ship's pulling in into California, and that's where it's going to stay. And, you know, just found it, and I found the Rocket 3. It was a touring model, and it was something big enough that, you know, myself and the wife could ride on comfortably for long periods of time. And, you know, and that's what, you know, I said, well, you know, that's one on the list. So I had that, had a 2006 Road Glide, had a 2012 Vaquero, and then had the V-Star, the fully loaded V-Star. So I took off from work one afternoon after we pulled into the ship's new home port, and I was stuck there for a month, a couple days before Thanksgiving this past year, 2015. Walked in, looked at the bikes that the guy had there at the particular dealership, and went for a spin on the Rocket 3, you know. And, you know, the mechanic there was the one that sold me the bike. The salesman was cool, he was a great guy, he was nice, but it was the end of the day, and he kind of wanted to go home because they were going to be closed for Thanksgiving the following 2 days. Well, the guy goes, all right, get on the bike. All right, you're on the bike? Good. Are you too scared to crank it? And I said, no. He goes, all right, you're good. Take it out. 3-mile test drive, do some twisties and a few other things. Oh, sold. It's like riding on a couch with 2.3 liters of hell yes under your asshole. You can't beat that. You can't beat it. Now, and I'm not knocking Harley or any of the other ones because, you know, your bike's your bike's your bike. And each bike has its own flavor. There's, even riding this and having ridden this for the last couple months, there's days I want to take the Honda out. And I have a little blast, and I still look like Magilla Gorilla. And I love the little Honda. And I'm going to be sad when she goes because I got to sell her. I can't keep 2 motorcycles. I just won't do them justice. But, you know, each bike's got its own thing. I would still like to have my CB125 from way back in the day. All right. Or I might, you know, my buddy had a Road Glide he let me ride, and that thing was a beautiful bike. And there's times I want one of those. You know, if I had $1 million, you know how that story goes. I had everything I ever wanted. But I can't complain. You know, this is a great bike. I wouldn't call this a review because I already bought it, and there's no intentions of not buying it after I rode it. But I like it. It's comfortable. Heel toe shifter, big brake, got a lot of response. You know, you are not hurting for motorcycle. Too low gear. I'm gonna edit that out. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I don't even have editing software. Now, I'm not lost. I wanted to go down Willoughby Spit. I'm just nice, easy road where I can chat to you guys and I don't have to completely be freaked out about traffic. Because, you know, it's Saturday night. Folks is coming and going. So, nice bike, nice response. Heel toe shifter is great. Took some getting used to, but it's not a bad deal. But man, just having the ability to give her the twist and the wrist to smile factor is psychotic. You know, now I've ridden sport bikes of one time or two and I like them. Just they're not comfortable for me. I'm big. I got knee problem. You know, but that's how it is. I got a backrest on this thing. A backrest. This thing is nice. Like I said, couch. Whole lot of fun underneath the asshole. You should try it sometime. Alright, well, I mean, in a nutshell, that's the bike. And me. You know, if you want to see the specs on a 2011, you know, Triumph Rocket 3 Touring, it's online. Give it a shot. Google's your friend. It's a little cold out here today. I did not bring my heated gloves. But, you know, this is Daisy. D-A-C-E-Y. You know, that's her name. You know, and I'm wingnut, so that's how it goes. You can talk about 100 things under the sun, man. I don't care. Ain't nothing really eating me today. It's a nice chill night. It's been a beautiful day. Got some yard work done. Messed with the dog. Started cleaning up some cast iron for a friend of my wife's because they don't know how to do that kind of thing. Man, it's nice. Just nice. And what you've been seeing has been Willoughby Spit and Ocean View in Norfolk, Virginia. Holy shit. That guy mattress on his car. I hope the camera is on. I hope the camera is on and it is recording. Otherwise, I've been talking to myself for like 10 minutes now and you guys haven't heard shit. You know? But that's all good too. I'll just voice over this crap later if I can. If I know how. Man, I'm gonna have to buy stuff to do this motovlogging thing, aren't I? Damn. Every hobby is expensive. Now, if you go looking for me on the Facebook, you can find me on Facebook as Zachary Wingnut. That's WHINGNUT. The H came from me buying license plates to be a smartass, and I couldn't fit the I in there, so I swapped it with an H, and I just left it. So, you know, happy accidents. But that's how it goes.